Hello and welcome back to another episode of Toy Therapy. I'm the host of Toy Therapist, aka Matthew Grant, and today I'm going to do something a bit more different to my channel. I'm going to take my channel in a bit more of a different direction, and this is some of the things that I'm sort of thinking about doing. As you know, I'm a big wrestling fan and a big movie fan, so hence Movie Goons is on here, and now I'm going to do a little bit more wrestling content. As you know, I'm collecting the Eagle Moss Championship collection, and I got two more that just come the other day. I got Finn Balor, and I've got Sasha Banks as well. So those come the other day, and I have a chance to review those, but I will review those very soon. So please sit tight. So that's something that's happening in the forthcoming week. A good friend of mine, Simon from Fingers on Plastic, we've been discussing what collaboration videos to do, because I approached him a while back, and he pretty much started messaging me yesterday about doing a predictions video for the up-and-coming event Clash of Champions. This is one event that I used to really enjoy. Ever since now, it's not about the champions, it's all about the belts being all on. It's the same as any other event, and I feel that this event is sort of gone downhill. There's been some great matches on it as well, but they're not facing a champion. Like, you had the champion from SmackDown, you had the equivalent champion on Raw. They used to have that, and it's none of that anymore with the brand split. So it's a bit of a missed opportunity on that for me. That's the reason why I started going downhill. And then another good opportunity as well by having the King of the Ring semi-final tournament on there. That would have been amazing. That would have been a good idea, and I don't know why they didn't do it. It just doesn't make sense. So what I'm going to do now is, so Simon, like I said, matches me. He's done his video, so I'm doing mine, and this is going to be like my predictions to the event. So the first up, like I said, it's no particular order. You've got Gulak, Dorado, Carlo as well from the 205 Live. I know it's pretty much all flippy dippy and high flying moves, high impact moves with themselves, put themselves on the line. I do like those kind of moves, those kind of matches, but when they were just forced down so much, I got a bit bored, and having a whole show dedicated to that is, for me, it's just a bit of, I get a bit bored of it. I do get a bit bored of the old high flying moves. I mean, when the whole Hardys came in and so on as well, and you had Rey Mysterio, you had Billy Kidman, all that for me was always like you had one match sort of paired with another person that worked quite well with one another. This match, I think, is going to work really well to all their strengths and weaknesses, and it's going to produce one hell of a match. So I am going to watch this one because I haven't really been invested in 205 Live, so I think I'm going to give that a go. So who I think is going to win? I think it's going to be Gulak. So because of the build-up. The build has been quite good with Dorado beating him and Carlo getting the win over Dorado and getting inserted into the match that way. Having all that as well, I think having, like, say, the starts with high flyers and Gulak being a bit of a ground specialist with submissions and striking, I'm going to have to go with Gulak. I think he is going to be the one that could pull off a spectacular win, as long as it's done right, and as long as it's done really, really good. So I'm hoping for that. Next up, you've got the women's tag. I've been invested into the women's wrestling as of lately, with the whole 4 Horsewomen from NXT coming in, and that whole women's pay-per-view, and the Mae Young tournament as well. I've been really invested in women's wrestling as of late, so I've been really sort of watching and paying a good attention to that. So at the moment, for the women's, you got Cross and you got Alexa Bliss versus Fire and Desire. There's been no real build up. It's just been being thrust together into a match. So at the moment, there's been no sort of build up, nothing for me to get invested. So I'm gonna have to go with Bliss and Cross for this one. So I do like their pairing. Bit of a shame what happened with Bayley and Sasha Banks as well, because they were phenomenal as a women's tag team. They were very formidable. So I'm going to have to go with them, and hopefully they might come back again and do another sort of tag team pair up as well. I know they're on Raw and SmackDown, so let's see what happens in the future. So at the moment, like I said, go with Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. Now you've got this SmackDown Tag Team Champions. I really forgot who was the Tag Team Champions, and it is the New Day, and they're going to be up against the Revival. Revival have been quite a roll recently. They are such a phenomenal tag team, and I think that AEW, has been trying to maybe sort of nab them, maybe, or they've been thinking of going across. So that would be. So I don't know how that's gonna affect them. There's been kayfabe injuries with the New Day, so that could play something in the role of this match and who's going to win. I can really see that Revival, because they are such a fresh tag team, such a good side tag team as well. And I would like to see someone different have the tag team championships for the SmackDown. And it's just not to take off a New Day, because I love the New Day. I'm not dissing the New Day, but it's just something about the Revival, just seeing how they work in the ring together. It is so fluid, and there's literally, they are on the same page. They know each other really well, and just seeing them work. There's some brilliance in their matches, really good brilliance, almost like a what's the Arn Anderson and the Enforcer Arn Anderson. I can't remember his name now. The other Anderson as well. Almost have those two as a tag team in Revival. I would say they're very influenced by that as well, and a bit of APA, bit of Smash Mouth as well, and such a solid team. So I would like to see the Revival. I'm going to go with the Revival for that. Then you've got the Raw Tag Team Championship, which you've got Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman versus Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler. This has been a bit of an odd pairing, having, say, two people who just thrust into teams and just win a match and win a championships. Doesn't always work, because you got later on, you got a bit of friction between Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins. You got a bit of friction because they're wrestling later on the night for the Universal Championship. So there's something going to be in this that could swing them from losing a match. So the thing is though, I'm a big fan of Dolph Ziggler, and I'm a massive fan of Bobby Roode as well. I just love his entrance, loved him in TNA. This guy is a phenomenal wrestler, and I want to see some gold on him. I really do want to see some gold on him. I want to see what they can do as a tag team champions. So I'm going to go with them as my pick over Seth Rollins, because I think there's going to be some sort of miscommunication or some sort of shenanigans, and I think they could lose the belts. And that could spill over into the next match for him as well. So I'm going to go out on a limb on this one. So it will be Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler for the win. Hopefully they can do it. So United States Championship. So you've got AJ Styles versus Alexander. Alexander had a pin going back, I think about 1 or 2 weeks ago, over AJ Styles. That's one of the main reasons why they've been sort of put together into a match to see what would happen. I don't think that AJ Styles is going to lose the belt. There's been a bit of to and fro, bit of bumping around with the belt with him and Ricochet, and they've had really good matches as well, especially with the OC being involved as well, and having all that injected into the matches. Has been some really good wrestling matches and some entertaining as well. So for me at the moment, because of the bouncing around, and plus for Alexander, it's a bit too soon for him to have the belt, especially that he's only having one come up from NXT. So I don't think they are going to drop the belt to it from AJ Styles, because that will be a massive coup if they did that, and I think that could take away from AJ Styles. And plus, I'm another huge AJ Styles fan, so I can't see that happening, especially with a little build up. But I think something could happen, a big spot or something that could think and say, right, okay, Alexander, you've really sort of taken yourself up to another level. So I can see something like that happen, but I still think that AJ Styles will win. Then you got a bit of a weird one. You got Shinsuke Nakamura versus The Miz. Miz is going into babyface this time, and he hasn't really been in a contendership really for the IC title for a good number of years, especially as a babyface. And this match came out of nowhere really. He just challenged him, and it just came out of nowhere. So I don't think The Miz is going to do it. I think it will stay with Shinsuke Nakamura because he's such a good worker, such an unbelievable striker. So I really think Miz is going to be out of his comfort zone. It could be a really good match, but I think the styles are not going to work very well. But you never know. I'm going to see what happens on the night, but I am going to go with Nakamura on this one. So you got a no DQ match with Roman Reigns versus Rowan, okay? Because as you know, Rowan's been the behind the scenes of him attacking Roman Reigns. It'd be really good to see Rowan get a really good bing because they're trying to push him as a single competitor as well. And he cut a really good promo. I like his ring presence. And especially I love the whole thing with him being a tag champions with Daniel Bryan. Loved all that angle, especially the whole vegan belt thing. I love that belt. Absolutely stunning belt. And seeing them sort of maybe being, say Daniel Bryan's being pulling the strings on Rowan to go after, say, Roman Reigns and so on as well. But let's see what happens. I don't think they'll allow Roman Reigns to lose, especially while having him retire the Undertaker. I can't get behind Roman Reigns. I really can't. I don't like him as on the mic. I think he's awful. He's getting better in the ring, but his mic skills are awful. At the moment, I just don't really rate him. So, but as for storyline and how they're pushing the whole thing, I think Roman Reigns will get the victory. Okay, it will get a victory. I hope it will be a weak, not a weak victory, a strong victory, but maybe Rowan will get some licks in after the match and just leave him on the canvas. I'm hoping for that. I'm not sadistic in any way, but I just can't get behind Roman Reigns. I just can't. Not a fan at all. Now you got the Women's SmackDown Championship. You got Bayley versus Flair. Flair is going after, I think, a 10th title at the moment, especially what happened with Bayley's going heel with Sasha Banks. I really think they need to do something more with Bayley, and I'm glad they're giving a bit more context to her, because when she got transferred from NXT, they didn't know what to do with her, and they were trying to push her almost like a John Cena, female John Cena, and it didn't quite work. And then they give her like a very sort of sticky, sort of goofy, and made her really weak as well as a competitor. And she is such a good competitor, and I just really wish they'd do something more with her. Now she got the tag team. No, she became the first women's championship tag team with Sasha Banks, which they campaigned for. And when they got that, that was amazing. And they had some really good matches in that as well. They had a couple of poor components, but they've made the matches look a lot better. Now she's a championship as well, because she won the Money in the Bank. It's too early to let her drop the belt, especially Charlotte. Charlotte is a good competitor. I love Charlotte to pieces as well, but I really want to see what Bayley can do with the match, or with the belt. So I'm going to go with Bayley for the win. Now you've got the Raw Women's Tag Team. You got Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks. Not a lot of build up here. I can't see. I mean, it could be good if Sasha Banks does win, but I think at the moment they're not gonna let Becky Lynch to drop the title just yet. I think basically it's still too early at the moment, so I'm gonna have to go with Becky Lynch retaining for this one. She's quite a strong competitor, and the whole thing with the man and so on as well, I think it would just ruin all that. I really don't think they want to not trying to take anything away from Becky Lynch. So I think Becky Lynch will keep that. And I've seen a few people at the moment, a few of my friends are saying that Banks could win it, but I'm going to have to stick with Becky. I want Banks, but I think the most logical choice at the moment, or even have a bit of shenanigans and so on as well, whether Bayley might come in and help, I don't know, but I think it's going to be Becky Lynch is going to retain. Now you've got the WWE Championship, Kofi Kingston versus Randy Orton, almost like a revival of of their feud back in SummerSlam, continuing on one they had from many years ago as well. Growing up, you had Randy Orton going up with their family. They didn't do a Samoa Joe and Styles thing. They bring that back and do like all these traps and not so much shenanigans, but almost like Randy Orton come out of nowhere and getting Kofi and so on as well. I really think Kofi Kingston is going to retain, completely going to retain. If the New Day drop their belts to, I think it was to the Revival. Let me just double check. Yeah, to Revival. I don't think they're going to let Kofi drop the title. I think Kofi's going to be protected, but I think he'll be protected in a good way, and I think that Kofi Kingston will retain. It'll be a phenomenal match. I'm looking forward to that match. I'm a big Randy Orton fan, but I think Kofi will still retain, maybe by about that much. And then you got last of not least, you got the Undisputed Championship bout. You've got Seth Rollins versus Braun Strowman. So depending on how it will go with the tag match as well, you will have pretty much story continuing on with their own internal struggles, then just being thrust together as a tag team. The whole thing, because Braun Strowman, he's always been so close and never got the job done, especially against Brock Lesnar and numerous others. He's almost like the Kane, basically, where he always gets really close and he never basically pulls out the bag. So I can really see that Seth Rollins retaining. My reason why for retaining, because he is beating now Brock Lesnar, and having Braun take that away from Seth Rollins, it could diminish that win as well. And almost like Becky Lynch, the man sort of thing as well. I just think those two are going to be protected because they're like a couple and almost like a power couple. I can't see them taking the belts away from them just yet, because they still got a bit more work to be done. So I'm going to have to go with Seth. Pretty much those are my predictions. I'm going to see how well they come true. Like I said, I got some more content coming to you very shortly. I got some more Star Wars figures I need to review. I show you my championship collection I need to review as well. So that's going to be coming up this week. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Give me a like, say, subscribe. Let me know of who you think is going to win in your predictions. Please drop me a message down below as well, and it'd be interesting to see who you're rooting for. I can say mine just going to be based on run-ups and storylines and so on, and see what else I can do with the title. Mine is just pretty much what I feel on my logical choices. So let's see what happens. So Clash of Titans is on tonight. I won't get a chance to see it till tomorrow and finish off on Tuesday. So I'm going to be pretty much trying to keep offline, which is a hard thing to do these days. People will share stuff. So I'll see what happens. So please give me a like, say, subscribe. That'd be brilliant. And I'll see you guys and girls later. Take care. Bye-bye.